I think it's way past time for an Iron Man update. Hello and welcome to the channel. Here I post things about my various projects, including my Mark 46 Iron Man suit and anything else I may be working on at the time. I also post on TikTok at Ethan Makes 3D, so go check that out. I do live stream sometimes. But on to today's topic. It's been quite a while since I've updated you guys on my Iron Man suit build, so that's what this video is about. Let's get to it. The last update video, I was just finishing up this chest plate, which admittedly fits a little better than my current one, but I custom scaled all of these parts and they all ended up getting corrupted until I lost the entire suit file. I'm still kind of sad that I have to throw this one away though. The detail is just great. So unfortunately, this thing is just trash now. But since then, I started work on the new chest plate that actually fits fairly well. You can see on the inside here, the welding lines that I did. And this chest plate is about 9 parts. There's the 4 main chest parts. There's 2 side details where the arc reactor light is going to be right there. There's the arc reactor frame itself, and then the 2 shoulder straps. So this was already a lot of progress to be made, but why stop there? Once the chest plate was done, I started on an even bigger piece of the suit. This big back plate. Now I'll shoot some B-roll for this, but you can see on the inside all the weld lines. See, this one also took a lot of welding. This one was 7 parts in total. I don't know how well you can see this, but it actually fits really well. And just in case you didn't know, I'm actually on TikTok as well, and I live stream welding all of this together. Now, of course, I already had this helmet done. You've probably seen it on my channel or on my TikTok. There's nothing new with this. I'm just continuing to print the rest of the suit before I start sanding and priming. Oh yeah, and I did the shoulders. Now I have to hold these on. They're not connected to anything yet. They're just basically big fish bowls. Each of these took about maybe 21 hours. I'm printing at a 2.8 layer height. It's a pretty low quality, but it prints faster than anything else. And the reason I'm okay with printing these at a low quality is I'm gonna come over and sand all of this, Bondo it, sand it. This is going to look like a brand new car when I'm done. So if it looks a little rough now, that's totally fine. The last part I did since my last update was the neck. Now this thing is pretty sharp right now because I haven't sanded any, and I don't know if you can see that, but the back is pretty darn pointy. But I'm thinking about doing this in a flexible PLA along with this back plate. That way I can move my head around. In the meantime, I'm currently doing the biceps. I'm actually redoing them. If you've seen my last video, you'll see I did them in black. Those were just lower quality and not great in general, so I'm gonna go back and redo those, and as well as the forearms. Here is the old forearm. You can see that the surface here is just rough and not great quality. And I also pretty much destroyed this thing by heating it up and trying to stretch that out. And if you've been following me for a while, this is also the part that cut the tip of my finger off while I was trying to weld this together. I was trying to line it up, and I had to put such force that it actually broke and sheared my finger off. Now it didn't come completely off, it healed up just fine, but that's a little sad that I had to throw this away after putting so much work into it. Also, Geo3D's version of the file has a split down here. It has actually 2 pieces. That way I can put elastic or magnets or some way to attach it that it's not just one piece that I have to shove my arm through. And that way I can actually make it smaller than this and fit me better. And I won't have to shove my arm through it and cut myself. Another thing I'm thinking about redoing in terms of quality is the hands. These are also pretty low quality. They were done on, I believe, an Ender 3 back when I didn't know what settings even were, so these are pretty terrible. And also I cut out most of the back of them to get my hands in, but I'm pretty sure there's a better file where I won't have to do that. In these two bags, I have the fingers for the older gloves I just showed you. These I may end up just using. They already have the patterns, the specific design of the Mark 46 fingers. I don't believe the DO3D has the ridges on the top of the finger, so I may end up just using these. So I'll be redoing these hand covers. DO3D's files for these are just a lot more detailed and have more dimension to them. I want to take a brief second to talk about Johan's neck file. This one just splits with the zigzags of the design on the armor. It has no places for magnets or Velcro or anything like that. It's just two clean parts. Now the reason I don't like this is because it's a lot easier to have magnet holes, so you can just pop the magnets in and snap it on. As you can see on the DO3D files, there are magnet holes, so all you do is hot glue the magnets in and line them up, and it snaps right on. So now that we've covered all of the additions I've made since my last video, let's talk about where I'm storing my armor parts. This here is what I call the staging area. This is where I put all the parts that are waiting to be put together or waiting to be sanded, which is pretty much all the parts right now. But this is kind of just a display right now while I'm working on printing the rest of the suit. All this is one of those pop-up tents, and I originally was going to use this for painting, but I couldn't figure out how to get it to work without having ventilation, because I don't really want to kill myself. But you can see here that I have the helmet and neck set up on a mannequin head. These are set up as they will look on the final suit. It's lined up just about exactly how it is when I wear it. Next, you'll see the chest and the back plate back there. These are massive parts, so that's pretty much the only way that they fit in there. Next to those in the corner are my shoulder pads. Those have just finished printing. And then there's a spare box of filament just right there holding up the shoulder. And then there's a few smaller bits here. These are for the motorization of the helmet. Here is what the left bicep currently looks like. The quality looks great. It's been going for about 4.5 hours at this point, so it's got another 11 or 12. It's not a super long print. In the grand scheme of things, it's pretty short actually. Well, here is roughly what the bicep is going to look like before printing. You can see that it is mostly supported there at the bottom. Not much needed towards the top. And I feel perfectly fine sending this to the printer. Plus, this one is only 16 hours, so that's going to be relatively quick. So that's all the additions that I've made since my last video. I've tried on all the different parts individually, and they fit pretty great, but it's about time to see how they work together, where they rub, where I might need to adjust some things. And pretty soon I'm going to be attaching the chest and back together with some buckles, so that'll kind of be like a backpack, and the weight will sit on my shoulders. I'm most likely going to put some foam up underneath the part that's actually going to be sitting on my shoulders. That way it's not too uncomfortable and the weight doesn't feel like that much. Now, of course, this is a fully plastic suit. It's not going to weigh that much, but I can already start to feel the heft of parts like the back plate is pretty heavy. That's probably the heaviest part I've done so far. The chest isn't too bad, so most of the weight will probably be on my back, but that's not too bad. So that's the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope I was detailed enough. I tried to cover every possible thing I could think of since I posted that last video. There's been a lot of ups and downs, a lot of problems and frustrations, but I think I'm finally getting to the point where I'm starting to see how it's going to end up. I'm starting to see major progress like the back plate and the chest plate. Soon they'll be one piece, so I'll be posting about that. And also over on TikTok, so go check that out if you haven't already. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.